The Murder Shelf Book Club contains disturbing content related to real-life crimes. Listener discretion is advised. Hey, Murder Bookies, it is Jill. Welcome to the Murder Shelf Book Club podcast. This is my Crimecon 2024 Nashville debrief. First, I have to tell you, it's been a while now since I recorded because I was at Crimecon from Thursday until Monday morning. I talked with thousands of you. It was absolutely wonderful. And Monday, I was getting ready to go to the airport with some friends of mine. And I was sitting in the lobby of the hotel. And I looked up and saw them coming. And I was like, it was gone. Gone. My voice was just done. It was that way for a few hours. Our driver, he was teasing me. I was sitting in the back. And he was teasing me. Hey, Jill back there, shut up. Making too much noise. So he had a Mucinex throat lozenger. Now, I know about Mucinex in terms of, drying up your nose and allergies and colds and things, but I had never had the throat lozenger. Well, I sucked on this lozenger. We got through security and all of this at the airport, got ourselves situated at our gate, waiting to fly out, and my voice did come back. But I will tell you, only recently, I've been home from Crimecon over a week, and today it is still a little froggy. I don't know if you can hear it, but I certainly am aware of it. It feels much deeper than I usually talk. So that prohibited me from recording. So you're going to have to bear with me if I'm running a little bit behind here. I will try not to do that to you, though. Reflecting on Crimecon, I have the support, the words of comfort, of encouragement from you is everything to me. It is truly, truly amazing to me. Thank you. You're the wind under my wings. I really cannot do this without you. I mean, I'm sure my mom and my husband would listen and even my kids, but that would be about it. And so you really play this huge role in how I can manage to do this podcast. Now, I brought bookmarks, stickers, notebooks. Gone. I had very, very little left. And I just am overwhelmed with the response that you were so excited to get a bookmark from me. I mean, what else would I give out but bookmarks, right? I mean, we're a book club, right? To the new murder bookies that I spoke with who weren't aware of the podcast, you are just the sweetest. I've gotten dozens of emails from you, which I wasn't expecting at all. And evidently you kept the cards and you kept the stickers and you kept the information and you're like, yeah, I'm listening. I'm liking this. I'm liking that. And that is just really awesome. I think I can share now that my roommate for this Crimecon was author and survivor, victim number 5 of the Golden State Killer, Jane Carson Sandler. Now, if you remember, I had done Jane's book. And, we kind of became friendly as we were talking about the book and her story. And, we were talking back and forth. And she was, I'm going to Crimecon this year. I have to get a room. And I'm like, oh, honey, I think they are sold out. So I invited her to be my roommate. What a delightful roommate. And just simply had a wonderful, wonderful time. I hope you got to see her presentation on victims and the resiliency of victims. She read her victim impact statement, and so many shared these deep feelings about how these terrible things can affect and impact their life. If you have not listened to my episodes on Jane Carson Sandler, please do so. Her book is Frozen in Fear. Simply just a magnificent lady. What a good friend. I don't have enough praise for Jane. So we went to the kickoff party on Thursday night. I was a little overwhelmed getting ready and nervous and prepping. So I hadn't really thought all of this through. Jane's a good friend of Paul Holes. So when Paul was at the kickoff party, I got to hang out with Jane, who got to hang out with Paul Holes. So here I was hanging out at the kickoff party with Paul Holes, which was pretty amazing to me. I kept my fangirling in check. I am getting better at it, though I'm going to tell you about a couple of instances when I completely lost it. I just had a lovely conversation. I did talk with Paul about possibly doing his book, and we're going to have to talk about that. I don't know if you got to eat at any of the restaurants at the hotel, but Jane and I ate at Ravello, and that was the pasta house. We went with intentions of having salads because we don't need to eat all that. Well, these people make the pasta daily, and I had the mushroom ravioli. Oh my God, I am going to try to replicate it, which is going to be impossible. But it was the most delicious thing that I have eaten in years. I mean, just absolutely incredible. And I know you don't need a restaurant review, but I'm just kind of sharing and rambling about things that went on. I was just so impressed with the quality of people. 6,000 plus, maybe 7,000 of us. And we are freaking awesome. What a kind, decent, caring, very eclectic, even though we all love true crime, but just the nicest people. Everybody was just a delight to be around. Oh my God. And we were having our meetup. We had such a good time. This is at 11:15 at night. We have been up and running around since 6 a.m. trying to get breakfast and then going to the sessions and seeing so many of you. I was on podcast roll all day long, and you stayed up and met me at the Falls Bar at 11:15 at night. I mean, you were amazing. And we still managed to talk, take pictures, share, laugh. You are just absolutely remarkable. And yes, Heather, we took a much more attractive picture this year. That was one of my goals. Now, you may have guessed that I am a fan of the Prosecutors podcast. And at some point, they were having their meetups, and I made my way there to, see everybody and say hello, and got my picture taken with Brett and, fangirled a little bit, but kind of reined it in. It was like, come on, we can do better than this. But I did manage to speak words instead of just kind of, drooling. The next night, on Friday night, was John Douglas, which I'll get back to in a minute. But I wrapped up John Douglas, so I meandered over. And at the same time, I got to meet Lindsay Wade. Her book is In My DNA. That is definitely on my list. And my Patreon, Murder Bookies, you agreed as well. Got to chat with her and just get an idea of where her book came from and was she interested in me featuring it, and she is. And then I made my way over to the Prosecutors. And it's crowded, and there's people drinking, and they're having a good time. I had water at this point because I just was absolutely exhausted. And I come over, and a young man says, "Hey, what are you doing?" I saw Brett the other night. I just want to say hi and meet Alyse. And he moves 4 people out of the way so that I can slide in next to Alyse because it was a booth. And I sit down and just went, "Hey," and knocked over a bottle of beer. Fortunately, empty. So I'm like, okay, disaster averted. And I'm like, girl, I am not even drinking. This is just me excited to meet you. Had a lovely, lovely chat with her. Told them that I do refer to them on legal briefs a lot when we're looking at areas of the law within the podcast. And then I moved on so that other people could talk. And I go to stand up as I managed to wrap my leg around a chair, tripping over the chair, catching myself. And I just looked at her and I said, this is me sober. Listen, gracefulness, maybe not. Klutz, I think I proved that one. So John Lorden, Dr. Catherine Ramsland, who I had just gone up to her book signing. John Douglas. All right, this was really on the bucket list, dream come true. I had seen him one time previously, but I had not had a chance to actually meet and chat with the man. And I really was just absolutely fascinated by every story he told. And he just went through it and things that he learned and how certain cases impacted and how he was able to figure out what the motivation was. And, he went through all of that, organized, disorganized, how they were trying to come up with a way for law enforcement to use some of this psychology. Because it's nice to have a psychological theory, but that doesn't necessarily help you catch the bad guy. Understanding the behavior of perpetrators, and he started out with serial killers, which has been my fascination. He taught me tremendously. And his book, Mindhunter, was on sale. And of course, we heard just recently that is one of the books that Rex Heuermann, the alleged Long Island serial killer, who was just charged with 2 more murders, Jessica Taylor now connecting him to the Manorville murders, as well as Gilgo Beach, and Sandra Castillo, another victim evidently of his. But Rex Heuermann would use Mindhunter kind of as a reference book. It's not the first time I've heard that, but it is disconcerting when you think about it, that people may be out there in this world using books to educate us, but to educate them on how to be better criminals. But his stories were delightful. He is funny. I know, how can you be laughing at murders and serial killer investigations? And yet he made fun of himself and it was delight. It really was. I really advise you to get Crimecon HQ if you don't already have it, where you can see all of the videos of the sessions. I miss them all except John Douglas because I'm on Podcast Row for you. So it is the best money I can spend, and I can't wait until they upload the videos. Thank you so much for your support. It is really something that I want to hone. I think I've said it 3 times now, but I may say it 3 more before I'm done here. You give me the energy to keep doing this. You give me the motivation to keep doing this. It's really very, very special. On my blog at www.murdershelfbookclub.com, I have posted all of the pictures that I took of us. So please look and see that you're there. If you took one with me that I didn't get, send it to me and I will absolutely add it. I want you to know that I truly care and value you. So this is my rambling thinking about Crimecon, reflecting back and all the fun we had. Oh my God, one more thing. Did you get lost? Okay, so I was really lost that first day. I had been in Crimecon Nashville 2018, and I kind of remembered a little bit of the Gaylord Opryland that we were at, but it still took a day to come back where I'm running down the wrong way, stopping, turning around, saying, no, I'm supposed to turn left there, not right. That was remarkable fun. I did take a boat ride on the internal river that they have with all the waterfalls and absolutely beautiful foliage. Some of my girlfriends at Murder Bookie Alex came with us. It was just absolutely delightful. And there was a couple alligator sightings. That was pretty interesting too. Yeah, also on my blog are pictures of people that I met, like John Ramsey. And of course I met with Aphrodite Jones. Well, we just finished her book, Levi's Eyes, right? And I actually wound up dropping the interview with her sooner than I usually do. It's usually Thursday, and I wound up dropping it on Tuesday. Listen, I know it's nice to get content early, but this was just especially lovely. Cindy, if you've listened to this, you know who I'm talking about. Cindy, Levi's stepmom, she contacted me, and I was like, oh, and was asking about the episodes. And, I told her, where to find them and how to listen to them. And she was waiting. She says, oh, I've listened to them and they're really good. And I'm waiting on Aphrodite's interview. And I was like, oh, listen, Cindy, this is your story. If you're waiting for my interview with Aphrodite, I said, it's dropping right now. And I did. I put it out immediately. And about an hour and a half later, Cindy messaged me on Facebook. And this is what she said. Jill, I have to commend you on this podcast. It's obvious you did your research. I appreciate all the kind words and support that you have shown through this series. Count me in as a huge fan, and thank you. Oh my gosh, there is no greater praise than to hear from the people in the book I am podcasting about that they approve. That is critical. And there's no higher praise. I thanked Cindy profusely. And it really makes you humble too, because these are real people out there. And I know this, but it really drives it home when you actually hear from someone. Just absolutely an incredible experience. I met Aphrodite. She came running by the booth, and unfortunately, I was not on the end like I was last year, but I'll talk about that in a minute too. So we had to kind of like reach over the table and kind of lean in together, had a quick chat. And again, you guys were all there too. So I don't remember who saw it and who was there at that particular moment, but it was such a warm feeling, she's a good friend now. I really admire her so much. And I've heard really good things about her presentation on the staircase, which she talked about a little bit in the interview as well. Now, I had some of the best real estate on Creators Row. To my left, Joseph Scott Morgan of Body Bags and his family and his wife, Kim, who is the nicest, most gracious, fashionable woman that I think I have ever met. What a doll. Here's our podcast, right? And we're doing our thing right next to Joseph Scott Morgan. And I hear him saying, make sure you stop by and you talk to Jill, my neighbor here. Her podcast is terrific. I mean, could you ask for a more gracious neighbor in the middle of thousands of people coming by, wanting to take pictures with him, loving his podcast? He was sending them to me. Right next to me on my right was Sarah Ferris, who does Conning the Con podcast. This woman lives in London, came in to the United States, to Nashville, to be here with us at Crimecon. A lovely, articulate, sincere, knowledgeable person. Her podcast, there's several that she's involved with, but this podcast, Conning the Con, began when her sister was being scammed by someone. And I listened to it right before Crimecon, and it's just absolutely incredible. And she can count me in as a huge fan. Right behind me, Cheryl McCollum, Zone 7. She is the director of the Cold Case Investigative Research Institute. She was right behind me. I mean, you know, I can't tell you how many times we were sitting there and there was this poke, poke, poke through the curtain behind me. How's it going over there? and her husband, Walt, was just absolutely incredible. Right across from me, Crime Online. And right across the aisle to my left was True Crime Garage. So I got to chat with the captain and Nick and talk to Nick about doing his book on Delphi. Guys, the authors that I met, their eagerness to be featured on the podcast, incredible. Oh, Killer Mystery Game, Season 2 is out. Jason and I had a long discussion about it. I absolutely loved the first season. Killer Mystery, again, I have a link on my blog. I know all the links are on my blog, but I have a link on my blog to it. And, you know, if you have a gaming group or you're having the girls over and you need, you know, an activity, here you go. I mean, you can just buy the sets. It's in the series and you can get mailed monthly or you can buy it up front. It is just so much fun deciphering the clues. It's very, very high end. Just absolutely love Jason. Crimecon Denver 2025 tickets are on sale. I believe the gold VIP are already sold out. Platinum is going to be running out quickly too. So go to the www.crimecon.com/CC25 site. And if you're planning on going, get your ticket. I assume that my code, Murder Shelf, one word, lowercase letters, is still working, but there are discounts at least now. I do not know if I'm going to be on Podcast Row next year, but I know I am absolutely going to be in Denver because I got my gold VIP. And we'll figure that out as soon as I know, you will know. Listen, I'm rambling. I'm going to end it here. Just know I appreciate you. And as always, I see you as you hear me. I'll get a new episode out as we start our next trilogy very shortly. My voice is back, so I can start recording again. I think it's back. And I'll see you at Crimecon in September 2025. So who doesn't love horses? My next amazing true crime book is Broken, The Suspicious Death of Alyse and the End of Horse Racing's Golden Age by animal law attorney Fred Cray. It was a cool, quiet evening at Calumet Farm where many valuable racehorses, including the prolific champion stallion, Alyse, had settled into their stalls for the evening. While nothing seemed out of the ordinary, that was not the case. A grievously injured horse was discovered, cause unknown, which jump-started one of the biggest mysteries to ever hit horse racing. And author Fred M. Cray peels back the onion layers, revealing shocking testimony and key evidence that leads to the truth about the death of a magnificent racehorse, Alyse. I recall Alyse. I was practically raised at Monmouth Park Racetrack in New Jersey, so this story really strikes me close to the heart. Thank you for listening, Murder Bookies. I need you to be proactive here and leave me an awesome review that will help make new Murder Bookies. And share this podcast with your friends. See if they'd love to listen to. Share your thoughts with me at jill@murdershelfbookclub.com, on Twitter or Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or join Patreon for $4 a month. And the links are on my blog at www.murdershelfbookclub.com with all my sources, photographs, show notes, our snack recipe, and wine pairing. Always trust your gut and lock your doors and windows. Written and produced by Jill, all rights reserved.